focus on is the skill. We don't focus on the first two. Let's pick copywriting for an example. All of us are fairly verbal. We can speak clearly for, 20, 30, 40 minutes in a row without notes if we're having a conversation with a friend. And yet, when the boss says, write 2 paragraphs that explain what we do for a living, panic sets in, right? And we start reading all these blogs and books and have conversations. I'm bad at copywriting. I'm just not a good writer. Yeah, but you're a good talker. What happened in between the talking and the writing? Is it that you don't know how to hold a pencil? That you don't know how to type? I don't think so. The 2 reasons you might not actually be able to ship that paragraph back to your boss are, 1, you're afraid that the boss might look you in the eye and say, how dare you, this is terrible. Or 2, you might not be able to see the world accurately and accurately express what it is you need to say. But if you did see the world accurately and you weren't afraid, this is a 2-minute assignment. But you learned in 2nd grade not to treat it like that. In 2nd grade, you learned that when you have to hand in that homework assignment, it might come back with red marks all over it. And it's not going to lead to much upside, but it could lead to a lot of downside. So I guess what happens is there are some people, if you give them a mile, they're going to take an inch. If you give people this opportunity to do that art, to make that change happen, to have an impact, they'll figure out how to minimize it. They'll figure out how to make it a smaller opportunity. They'll figure out how to look for less. Why on earth would we choose to do that? The answer seems pretty simple. The answer is because it's safer. The answer is because in the short run, making, as Zig Ziglar would say, the frying pan smaller lowers the bar on the size of the fish you need to catch. And this is why so many people who call themselves entrepreneurs really aren't. This is why it's so difficult for somebody to start a business that really grows. It's why every time we look at a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 12-year-old, what we're seeing is someone who's been trained over and over and over again to push for smaller assignments, to figure out how to hand stuff in at the very last minute, to, whenever possible, go for the inch instead of the mile.